Good morning, ladies. Just a quick note on my ideas of feminism and how feminism can help black women and how we can use feminism to win to our best advantage. I think you use feminism to open the doors of education and job and training access, right? You need access to those things. As black women specifically, whatever the white woman got going on, she got going on. Forget her. Let's just focus on our sister state. We're the most poor women on the poor and powerless women on the face of the earth, collectively speaking. So, and nobody is giving us wealth. So there is only three ways for a black woman to get wealth. We either have to inherit it from our fathers, create it ourselves, innovate something, adapt something, create something to create wealth for ourselves, or make that money on our back, right? By marrying into wealth or yeah, let's just leave it at that, right? Also, when we get the education and we get the job skills, I think our best bet should be to use it in how can I say this? In feminine spaces. If you want to be an engineer, you can be a designer of cars and or let's say you want to be an engineer of cars, you want to build cars and you're a woman and it's mostly a masculine male field. Okay, fine. You don't have to build cars for men. You can say, okay, I want to build cars that for women drivers. If the technology and the adaptations that you have come up with is so great that the men want to use it and the men want to pay for access to that technology or that new idea that you come up with as a black woman feminist, you can sell it, they can use it also, but originally your invention was invented for women. Why that is will I think will work for black women is because only black women know black women market. Only black women understand the black female customer base. You know exactly what we don't get elsewhere, right? And if no matter what field you're in that supposedly was let's say you want to be a jet pilot, right? There is a female corps of jet pilots. You don't have to go and compete with the men to be the top ace jet pilots. You could go right into the woman own and be the best of the best of the best and the top of the woman female jet pilots, right? If the men decide, hey, I find you're good enough to make it onto the male ace team, fine. You don't have to apply for that. You don't have to apply to be in male spaces, right? You can take your glass ceiling education and break down doors for women by staying in a woman's lane. You can take your stem cell research and focus on studying women and black women's problems, right? You can stick to those fields. Once you take your feminism and keep it in a woman's lane, the man can't say shit. You are not trying to replace them. You're not trying to be in the all male spaces and you're not trying to dominate them. You're in your lane and you're doing what you have to do to survive as a modern woman in this modern world. And what you have to do is get education and skills to survive this modern world. You can't do things the way people used to do things 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 300 years ago. There are some people that fantasize about going back to life 500 years ago or 300 years ago, but you don't live there. You live in 2019. So do what works for you in this generation. And skills and education is what you need. But what you need is Black woman issues addressed. You need to take those issues and stay in your Black woman lane, right? If you're talking about rights for women, it's not your job to fight for rights of all women, right? There are women, like Arab women, they'll be looking like you, stay out of my freaking lane. That's not your job, right? It's not your job to fight for rights for all women. You can have a space for all women if you want, but it's not your place to do that. You have Black woman problems, right? When you walk through a door, you have Black woman problems, whether you're light skin or you're dark skin, but especially if you're dark skin, you have Black woman problems. And that's where you have to keep your focus, right? So you can be as feminist as you want to be, but your your focus should be on Black woman, the woman that you see that is similar to you in the mirror every morning. She's not hard to find. Everybody knows who not to pick for something good. That's the woman you're fighting for. The woman who don't get picked for the best things in life. That's who you're fighting for. Right? The woman who has to create her own way, to be her own savior. That's who you fighting for. You're not fighting for the woman who are damsels in distress and every 2 tears that run through their eyes, 10 men come diving over them to save them. Your tears don't matter. You can cry your river of tears and everybody gonna say, fix your ugly face and go heal in a corner some way. So your feminist fight is for you and your phenotype. And your wins are for you and your phenotype. It's not for everybody else. Everybody else have their own battles. It's not your plate. Nobody is taking. Listen to me, sisters. You want to align with the non-Black women and them fight, whatever you want to align with them with, have one criteria for aligning with other races or women problems. How much they make your problems, plight, and fights a priority in their living existence. So you can't wake up and breathe we woman problem with women who don't look like you every single day while they are focused on their problem only. Okay? We need to stop playing those games. We need to stop playing those games with other people, and we need to stop playing those games with ourselves. We know we are there for our wins. Stop pretending that we are there in the mix for their win. We're not there for that. We've been pretending that we're there for everybody wins. We are not there for everybody wins. And apparently, if we don't say we are there for our own wins, people will say, well, here, you don't need no wins. You're here for all. Everybody wins. We all just won. You Black women still in the same position societally, wherever you exist on the face of the earth. No, you're not here to fight for everybody's wins. Right? You're here for your wins. And every time a phenotypically Black woman, light skin or dark, but especially dark woman of African descent claims a win, that's room for another sister to say, somebody else to say, that it worked out well with that sister. Let me give another sister a try. Maybe it will work out well with her too. Right? So every time you get a loss, that's somebody else saying, I don't want to touch that. So anytime you participate in stuff that is demeaning and degrading to other sisters, that's somebody else who isn't going to know you from a kind of unmarked plain Black woman, but your phenotype and stereotypical rhetoric of who you are. And they're going to say, I don't want to touch that either. Right? So the promotion of your sister's wins is for your own personal benefit. It levels you up. Listen, the oppression of the Black woman the black race is determined by how oppressed the black woman is, not by the black man. All them swirling shows with black men and white women and non-black women swirling, all that advocacy, all the allowing of black male who bash black women to have the mic, to be the loudest voices. They can't wait to put a mic up or camera up in a black man's face who is willing to say he hates black women and black women are disgusting. All that comes from not just slavery, but in truth, let's count it from slavery. You were only a slave if you were born of a black female slave. You were only free if you were bought out of slavery, whether you pay your way or whatever, right? Or you were born of a free woman. If your father was free, meaning free white man, but your mother was a slave, bitch, you a slave. If your father was a free black man, but your mother was an enslaved black woman, bitch, you're a slave. Why is that important today? If black women do what black men do to black women and to the black race, it's like we can swirl, we as black men, we can swirl, and all our children are black, and the white woman make black children. Then what is the value of the black woman womb, right? How does that tie in today? When the black woman comes to that conclusion and she says, well, if it's okay for the black man to swirl, it should be okay for me to swirl. And she starts swirling in the 2000 more than she has ever freely chosen to swirl before. And more black sisters say, sister, I release you to swirl. Go do what is best for you. May the best man win. Now, everyone say in the pro-black community that white folks are our enemies, but will argue with you that the white woman children with the black man is black. So what happens when the black woman starts swirling? Now, who is the enemy? Who is the enemy? We are allowing our daughters to swirl. They can marry whomever. It has reached to the point in the future where the majority of black women allow their daughters to marry the best man for them. Swirl, my sisters. All my sons been doing that for a long time. You, my daughters, you have freedom to do it too. Who are you at war with? That's the end of the war. What race war? You've been living among white Christian people longer than any other race of people. You eat like them, you act like them, you think like them, you live among them, you're married to them, they're in your family. What war? What race war? Your reparations is the ability to swirl and marry into their wealth. That's your reparations. The white man agreed to this from the minute he decided to allow black men to marry white women. He said in his head, you can see the plan play out, that we have to allow the black men access to white women because the white women want it and the black men want it, and they both feel entitled to it. So we should allow them to it. But why, when you're trying to protect your white race, why would the white man allow his woman a privilege that he himself does not allow himself to? She can be with all the black dick she wants, but he will not be with a black woman. He is going to hold himself back from a privilege or a right that he freely allows his woman. Why? Okay, the same devil man, the same greedy man, the same selfish man who always has to win everything, who think he's the best at everything. And his only social obstacle to his ideas of who the fuck he is the fact that black women are fucking with him. All other race of women see him as a catch, but black women. We are the first mothers of this earth, and we rejecting the most powerful men on earth. How do I know that? Every day black women will tell you they ain't want a white man. How could the white man change that mindset? How? He has done everything to get the black woman to see him as worthy, as her better, as the best man on the face of the earth. He has humiliated her men in front of her, showed her how treacherous her men are to her, and she still haven't proclaimed the white man king of men yet. How do you convince the black woman to crown the white man king? You show her who the man she are loyal to truly is. Oh yeah. You release your woman to be with the black man, and then you promote it to the whole wide world, so every black woman, even my black ass in Trinidad, could see how black men thirst for pale women. Nothing else is more convincing than that. Nothing else will convince black women to swirl than that. And with social media comes a lot more conversation about it. You can have this conversation with your family all you want, but the majority of the black community will not know what you think about it. But you come online and you get into a community of black women who is having this conversation and saying, you know what? Black men been swirling for a while and giving us, as Miss BB say, their asses to kiss. Maybe it's about time we black women return the flavor. Fair is fair, right? The black man can swirl with the white woman and create black children as the whole white race go to fight for whether they should stay black or not be black, or whether they have the choice to choose to be black. Something our black asses don't got. We clearly identifiable black people don't got a choice on being black. But your mixed kids do. The black man makes kids do. And they can have that privilege. Not the black woman kids. No, 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 no. Her kids are clearly identifiably black because she only breeds black. Ah. So what happened when she don't no more? What happened when the black woman start birthing more Meghan Markles of the world? The war is over. That's what happened. That's the end of the war. That's why I tell my people, pick a fucking side. Either you are going to identify with the white Christian culture and mentality and be loyal to that and stop bash that and stop betray that and be the most loyal to white Christians as you want to be. Stop being communist bastards in their mix. Or you can choose to be black and be an outcast forever and be a target forever. Because the only way for black people to stop be a target is for black people to put the blackest of the blackest of the blackest of the blackest of black people who is winning positively, righteously winning as our very, very best. And once we have to have a debate on that shit, we are confused people. If you have to be confused about who gets to represent your win in your black state every day that you exist as a clearly identifiable black person, and you gotta argue who gets to represent your wins, whether it's people who look like you or don't look like you, then you're confused. You don't need to even breed, honest to God. You shouldn't even breed. Because you haven't even mentally picked a side. You don't know who you want to be. You don't know if you want to stay black and struggle for the wins that we supposed to get. And we're only going to get them on our own. It's going to be pull yourself up by your bootstraps, healing for self-healing for black people. The hard, gritty, ugly work. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like the last 50 years of Chinese people existence. Right? The hard struggle to get ahead. The Chinese people has been the only race of people who had no great monuments of architecture because they built in bamboo. The shit would rot away. Right? So they come on the scene. And in 25 years, they have become the number one builders of the world. You want something built? You want something massive built? You want a spaceship built? Call the little Chinese man. Call that little man. He got something to prove. And you're going to tell me you black people ain't got something to prove? And you confused about who gets to represent your wins? Don't be confused. Pick a side. And state clearly why you pick a side. You didn't want to be in the struggle no more. It's too fucking hard and you wasn't going to put that shit on your kids. Or you sign up for the struggle. And it's only my black kids going to win. It's only my black kids going to inherit wealth. It's only my black kids or kids that look like my black kids gets this promotion. I get in a position of management. It's only the blackity ones who can do the job and represent my promotion well will I promote. Not these confused, these people who signed up to swirl and have racially ambiguous kids. They signed up to give up the fight. They said if their kids wasn't black, the kids wouldn't have to go through what we're going through, and we agree. Now, when a black person gets into managerial position, you don't get black benefit because your parents already signed you up for another benefit. You don't get to come back and double dip. You hear? You get to be just what I love about Meghan Markle. A biracial woman or a biracial person all up in white people mix, making the pale skinned girls' feelings hurt, giving the white mother self-esteem issues. Go fuck them up. Leave us the fuck alone. Huh? We need our wins. And the only ones who gets to represent our wins is the blackest of us that are actually winning. That's all I gotta say. So we can be as feminist as we want to be, my sisters, but be in a female lane. Don't try to be in men lane. You can be as swirler as you want to be. You have made your choice, and you can be as pro-black as you want to be, but you can't get to go and bring back the confused people back into your pro-black Wakanda. Okay? That's all. That is all. Bye-bye.